Regular session on Tuesday, May 12th, 2020 at 9:05 a.m. via online Zoom with one member present and two on Zoom. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Notice to the public, the Board of Supervisors welcomes comments from the public during the time allowed for discussion. You're requested to approach the mic, state your name for the record, and limit the time used to present your remarks in order that others may be given the opportunity to speak. The normal process on any agenda item is for the chairperson to read the item from the agenda. The board is given an opportunity to comment on the issue and/or place a motion on the floor. An opportunity for discussion may be presented, at which time the public may participate and a roll call vote will follow. Number one, approval or amendment of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Is there a second?
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we get a second out of you, Bill, for approving the agenda as printed?
Second.
All right. Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Motion passes. Consent agenda. Number two, approve the minutes from the regular session of April 28th, 2020. Number three, accept annual manure management plan update from Prestige Farms of Iowa. Site PI 295 finisher ID number 65971. Annual update report received and placed on file with the following change to the manure management plan. A 4-year update. Number four, accept an annual manure management plan update, Prestige Farms of Iowa. Site PI 296, finisher ID number 65970. Annual update report received and placed on file with the following change to the manure management plan, 4-year update.
Mayor.
Accept annual manure management plan update, Prestige Farms of Iowa, site PI 333, finisher ID number 67102. Annual update report received and placed on file with the following change to the manure management plan, 4-year update. Number six, approve claims. Approve claims as audited and authorize the county auditor and recorder to issue payment of the same. The listing of claims paid at this meeting and all claims paid in the month of May will be published as part of the first meeting in June. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move we approve the consent agenda as printed.
Mr. Chairman, I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as printed. I just wanted to make note that we had an ugly month in secondary roads. That's one of the bigger expensive months that I think I've ever seen. We put a lot of gravel out, and it shows in the budget. So, for what that's worth. Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Motion passes. Number seven, approve of personnel actions. Hire Jessica L. Rydell, Sheriff's Office, Deputy Sheriff, full-time, rate of pay $22.07 an hour, effective May 17th, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve this personnel action of hiring Jessica L. Rydell, Sheriff's Office, Deputy Sheriff, full-time, rate of pay $22.07 per hour, effective May 17th, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded to hire Jessica Rydell, Sheriff's Office, Deputy Sheriff, full-time, rate of pay $22.07 an hour, effective May 17th, 2020. Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Motion
Mr. Chairman,
passes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to mention that all three of these hires this morning are all replacements. They're not additions.
Very good. All right. Kim Lee Jakey, Sheriff's Office Jailer, full-time rate of pay, $18.35 an hour, effective May 18th, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I would motion that we hire Kim Lee Jakey, Sheriff's Office Jailer, full-time, rate of pay $18.35 an hour, effective May 18th, 2020.
And Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to hire Kim Lee Jakey, Sheriff's Office Jailer, full-time, rate of pay $18.35 an hour, effective May 18th, 2020. Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Motion passes. Number C, hire Alicia Nicole Blackburn, Sheriff's Office Jailer, full-time, rate of pay at $18.35 an hour, effective May 18th, 2020.
And Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve this personnel action of hiring Alicia Nicole Blackburn, Sheriff's Office Jailer, full-time, rate of pay $18.35, effective May 18, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I would second that motion.
Been moved and seconded to hire Alicia Blackburn at the Sheriff's Office for $18.35 an hour, effective May 18th, 2020. Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Motion passes. D, elections change rate of pay for Phyllis Igabrod, election absentee voting lead, change rate of pay from $9 an hour to $11 an hour, effective May 12th, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I would motion to approve the rate of pay for Phyllis Egerbrod, Elections Department, absentee voting lead, change rate of pay from $9 an hour to $11 an hour, effective May 12th, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I second that.
Moved and seconded.
And I just wanted to add the reason we did the increase. I'll be honest, this was actually a mistake. She was at $11 a couple elections ago. Phyllis is one that does a lot of our balancing of the ballots to make sure we keep our right amount of ballots each day, and does a lot of extra duties more than just the team that comes in. So we pay all of our chairs at each polling location $11 an hour. So it's kind of the same lead type pay.
So you lowered her pay $2 an hour.
Oops.
Yeah.
But she's nice enough to just keep working and enjoy it. So that's nice.
That's great. That's great. All right. Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Motion passes. E, hire Catherine Elizabeth Austin, County Attorney's Office, Assistant County Attorney, full-time, rate of pay $65,000 a year, effective May 26, 2020.
Okay, we're just missing the motion line here is all.
yes.
I believe so.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the personnel action of hiring Catherine Elizabeth Austin, County Attorney's Office, Assistant County Attorney, full-time, rate of pay of $65,000 per year, effective May 26, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I will second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to hire Catherine Elizabeth Austin for the County Attorney's Office at $65,000 a year, effective May 26, 2020. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Motion passes. F, hire 4 people, elections, equipment delivery persons, rate of pay $13 an hour, effective May 26, 2020 to June 5th of 2020.
and there's a whole group of election ones here in this F.
Shall I go ahead and just read them all, and then
Yes.
we'll make this motion all
Make
at
it
one
all
time?
one time, because it's just really
Okay.
our entire election team hiring.
All right, here we go. Hire Tony Johnson, Jill Brockman, and up to 8 additional people. Elections, election absentee voting worker, rate of pay at $9 an hour. That is correct, isn't it?
Yes.
Effective May 12th, 2020. Note, Tony Johnson and Jill Brockman were hired due to the tremendous workload due to statewide mailing of absentee ballot requests on May 4th, 2020. Auditor Recorder Benson deemed this an emergency situation. Hire election precinct election official chair. Elections, rate of pay, $11 an hour, effective June 2nd, 2020 only. Hire election precinct election official, elections, rate of pay at $9 an hour, effective June 2, 2020 only. Hire election special precinct board, up to 21 people. Elections, rate of pay, $9 an hour, effective June 1, 2020 to June 5, 2020. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would motion that we approve these personnel actions.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve these personnel actions.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for Nan. Are we going to be able to claim anything for emergency situation from the federal government or the state on this for COVID?
We are getting reimbursed from the state. We've got a $6,000 grant for all of our safety equipment, cleaning supplies. So we've got plexiglass shields going into all of our election locations, as well as our absentee, a lot more cleaning supplies, masks, gloves, and all of that. So we've got a grant for that already. We are actually, last Friday, made the decision to go from 7 polling locations on June 2nd. We're going down to 4 because we just have people that keep dropping out of workers. So we're
Okay.
hoping that we can maintain those 4 locations.
Very good. I think we're ready for a roll call vote.
I do want to add one thing on the election chair and election officials. That is for coverage of those, what we have now, those 4 polling locations. So it isn't like there's just one person, that's a group of people. We have 1 chair normally at each polling location, and then right now we're planning to have 10 workers at each site. We do probably need to have an extra worker or 2 for crowd control, I'm going to call it, and cleaning.
Mhm.
So, but it's still making us with less workers than we normally have, but I think it's going to work if we can get that many people.
Muddle through.
We'll muddle through.
All right, roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Motion passes. This was previously approved at the 4/28/20 Board of Supervisors meeting. We need to make a correction to Sheriff's Department extension to 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the City of Clemens for law enforcement protection. The City of Clemens agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of the corrected amount of $3,875 and not $4,175 as approved at the 4/28/20 Board of Supervisors meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I would move we approve the extension to the 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the City of Clemens effective July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. The City of Clemens then agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of the corrected amount of $3,875.
Mr. Chairman, I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the extension to the 2080 agreement with the City of Clemens in the amount of $3,875. Is there any discussion? If none, roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Motion passes. Number 9, Sheriff's Department extension to 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the City of Haverhill for law enforcement protection. Discussion and possible action on the extension agreement regarding the 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the City of Haverhill for law enforcement protection within the corporate limits of the City of Haverhill. The agreement is effective July 1, 2020 to June 30th of 2021. The City of Haverhill agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $4,175.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the extension of the 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the city of Haverhill, effective July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. The city of Haverhill agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $4,175.
Mr. Chairman, I second it.
Moved and seconded to approve the extension to the 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the city of Haverhill for the sum of $4,175. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Motion passes. Number 10, Sheriff's Department extension to 28E agreement between Marshall County and the city of Laurel for law enforcement protection. Discussion and possible action on the extension agreement regarding the 28E agreement between Marshall County and the city of Laurel for law enforcement protection within the corporate limits of the city of Laurel. The agreement is effective July 1 of 2020 and to June 30th of 2021. The city of Laurel agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $7,175. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve this. The extension to the 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the city of Laurel effective July 1, 2020, June 30th, 2021. City of Laurel agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $7,175.
Mr. Chairman, I will second that motion.
Been moved and seconded to extend the extension agreement between Marshall County and the city of Laurel effective July 1, 2020 to June 30th of 2021 for the sum of $7,175. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Motion passes. Number 11, Sheriff's Department extension to 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the city of Albion for law enforcement protection. Discussion and possible action on the extension agreement regarding the 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the city of Albion for law enforcement protection within the corporate limits of the city of Albion. The agreement is effective July 1, 2020 through June 30th of 2021. The city of Albion agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $13,100.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the extension of the 2080 agreement between Marshall County and the city of Albion, effective July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. The city of Albion agrees to pay Marshall County the sum of $13,100.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the extension of the 2080 agreement with Albion for the sum of $13,100. Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Motion passes. Number 12, approve West Marshall Golf Course Association liquor license renewal, Class C, liquor license number I.C0010945 with Sunday sales privilege and outdoor service. Request from West Marshall Golf Course Association, DBA Lincoln Valley Golf for renewal of their Class C liquor license.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the Class C liquor license number LC 0010945 renewal request from Lincoln Valley Golf State Center, Iowa. This license includes Sunday sales privileges and outdoor service effective 6/30/2020 through 6/29/2021.
And Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to extend the Class C liquor license to Lincoln Valley Golf Course for the term of 6/30 of 2020 to 6/29 of 2021. Any discussion on this item? Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Motion passes. Number 13, Central Iowa Community Services Region FY21 Statement of Understanding Renewal, discussion and possible action to approve renewal of the Central Iowa Community Services Employment Statement of Understanding between Marshall County, Iowa and the Central Iowa Community Services Governing Board. The statement identifies the individual employees, the position filled, and portion of the employee's wages and benefits that will be the responsibility of the region. Included in the renewal this year is the regional reimbursement rates with each SOU. Jill, are you interested in speaking to this?
This is a renewal. We do this every year this time, and this just lays out the percentage. We did change the percentages around a little bit this year with the addition of public health to our office. We're taking 10% of the assistance time for public health and just adjusting things a little bit, but otherwise it's just a thing that we do each year starting July 1st.
Thank you, Jill.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the Central Iowa Community Services Employee FY21 Statement of Understanding for the Marshall County Community Services Employee.
Mr. Chairman, I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Central Iowa Community Services Employees FY21 Statement of Understanding for Marshall County Community Services Employees. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Motion passes. Number 14, cigarette, tobacco, nicotine, vapor permit application renewal. Request for Pandori Petroleum Incorporated, Rendawa Travel Center for a cigarette, tobacco, nicotine, vapor permit renewal effective July 1, 2020 through June 30th of 2021.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve this request.
Mr. Chairman, I would second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve this request from Wendawa Travel Center. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Motion passes. Number 15, approval of a contract with Calhoun Burns and Associates. Discussion and possible action to approve a contract with Calhoun Burns and Associates for final design of Bridge J15 on 260th Street east of Ridge Road.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the contract with Calhoun Burns and Association for final design of Bridge J15 on 260th Street east of Ridge Road in the amount of $17,270.
Mr. Chairman, I would second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve a contract with Calhoun Burns and Associates for the final design of Bridge J15 on 260th Street east of Ridge Road in the amount of $17,270. Is there any discussion on this?
Paul, do you have anything you want to say about this? It's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the replacement bridge that we're gonna do under that grant that we got, the bundling grant from with the DOT through the feds. And it's that old posted high truss. It's a good one to get rid of because it's obviously fracture critical and just one it's geometrically obsolete because it's got height restrictions because it's a high truss. So it will be a good one to get replaced. And we're gonna do this. We're anticipating next summer, not this coming summer.
And this is west of Albion, east of Minerva.
This is actually east of Highway 14, down south of town.
Okay, I got the wrong one.
Just like, yeah, this is just if you take 260th, it goes east of Ridge Road and curves back to the north, and right in that section where it starts to turn north is where this bridge is.
Yeah. Well, I was having a hard time picking it out of my mind here. I had the wrong bridge in my mind. That's why. So this is gonna be done then in 2021.
Yep, 21 construction is what we're anticipating.
Okay.
Very good. If there's no other discussion, roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Motion passes. I'm excited to see that bridge go away. So for whatever that's worth, it's time for replacement. Number
You've been,
16.
you've been driving that bridge for a lot of years, have you, Steve?
You know what? I've been over it with some pretty heavy equipment over the years, and I shudder every time I go over it. So that'll be good to have that replaced. Number 16, approval of water access management. Discussion and possible
Go ahead. My fault.
discussion and possible action to approve a water access agreement between Marshall County, Story County, and Marshall Ridge Farms LLC. Bill, I think you've been taking the lead on this.
Yeah,
do you want-
I'd like to talk about this for a little bit. This is on Mr. Blood's farm. It's just south of where he lives, and that's where his new dairy expansion is going to be. And the DNR has already approved that, and he would like to hook into a 48-inch tile that runs through that area. That 48-inch tile is on a drainage district that we share with Story County. It is in Marshall County, though. In fact, it is on Mr. Blood's farm. So I talked to Kevin Blood about this a month or so ago, and the one that we have with him already, and this is the one that we already have with him is with a drainage district number 2, and that's where his current home and dairy operation is. But that one is only within Marshall County. So Marshall County supervisors gave him permission to hook into that tile and siphon out water for use in his dairy. Now the tile is a 48-inch tile that runs thousands of gallons of water per minute. He is wanting to add a 4-inch tile, which will be maybe 1,000 gallons a minute. So it's not a big deal. Marshall County supervisors did this, and I don't know when it has happened, what, 15 years ago perhaps, and was put up for in perpetuity. And so when I talked with Kevin had his lawyer write up a potential agreement using that, and I sent that over to Marshall County, or over to Story County, worked with Scott Wall quite a little on this, and also talked to their county engineer. Everybody said that this is fine, not a problem. Well, then they gave it to their attorney, and their attorney says, nope, we have to have the ability to shut this off and be able to get out of this if we don't like it down the road. And so I talked to Kevin again. I said, let's take out the forever deal and put in 25 years. And he says, well, that will work. So they thought that was good again when I talked to Kevin, and also when I talked to Story County with Scott Wall. And then they gave it to their attorney, and the attorney came back and says, no, we have to have a way of getting out if we so desire and feel is necessary. And he put in a 30-day deal where either one of the counties could say, I want out, and in 30 days, Kevin would be out. And I said, guys, we can't do that. There's 3,000 moo cows down there. You can't do that in 30 days. And so they changed it. They came back with a different deal, recommending a 5-year agreement. Well, then before we did that, we sent one back over to him that we had talked about, but we hadn't signed it or anything like that. And for 25 years. And they didn't like that. Their attorney sent back another one. I got it, not yesterday afternoon, the day before, I guess, Friday. And 5-year agreement, renewable automatically for 4 years. So that would be 20 years. I'm kind of disappointed in working with them. It bothers me. As example, Mr. Blood, he is part of this tile drainage district there, and that goes through there that we share with Story County. And when you sign your farm up in a drainage district, that is forever. And now he wants, Kevin would like to take a little water out of it. I mean, this water is drainage water. It goes somewhere and they put it in the river. He would like to take out a small percent of this 48-inch tile, but they want to put rules in there saying, hey, can't do that. We want to be able to say no down the road if we have to. And I'm just disappointed, guys. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are.
I personally would like it in perpetuity, just like our other agreement is with them. I get a little nervous on these things when it's going to be every 4 years because of the political winds that may change.
Yes, I think that's the problem right now. But that
I wholeheartedly agree.
I did talk to one of the supervisors that I know on Friday, and all I got was well, we'll see. And so I wouldn't mind going to the 25 years, and Kevin said that too. But Kevin says neither one of us will probably be around in 25 years anyway. But he could be. He's in his early 60s.
Bill, do you think there's an opportunity to push on them over there in, or the attorneys there in Story County?
The attorney is quite fixed on this thing. Here's what I'm concerned about. This is something that Kevin needs to do. It would take drilling numerous wells to be able to make this work if he couldn't hook into the tile. We haven't come up with this situation before, and I don't know how much power we have when we have a 2080 agreement with them on drainage. I really don't. I wouldn't want to make them mad and then they say, hey, okay, well, we're not going to do this. I agree with you, Dave. When you've got an operation going here, it's not a ballroom or a residential apartment or something where you can give someone 30 days and say you're out. My goodness, there would be no way of finding water for that outfit if they did.
Well, what we're talking here is an absolutely major economic development portion in Marshall County that is just incredible. It's literally going to be one of the largest, if not the largest, dairy operation in the state of Iowa. I think at this time, my recommendation would be let's take what we've got and work at extending it. We've got a period of time to do it, and depending on the makeup of the other board, maybe come back and revisit this in the future and see if we can get what we would deem to be more appropriate terms
So you're saying take the 5-year
with the automatic renewals.
automatic, you see, this is what bothers me. Renewable automatically. Well, that doesn't really do anything for them. Why? I don't understand here, but
It's another reason why we just love the legal system some days.
yeah,
Not very often.
no.
Bill,
With that
do you
said,
know
I'm going to say I really like our county attorney and how we worked with them over the years, but
Oh, absolutely.
you know, this isn't right.
Now, was this their county attorney or was it outside counsel?
That's our county attorney.
Bill, do you know if anybody's pulling water out of that tile or water system below
I don't think
Kevin?
there's anywhere.
Nobody else? No.
Kevin has 2 water districts going through his 2 tiles. He pulls out of one tile. This would be a different one.
Yeah, this one is Drainage District 3, and then you cross the road and literally just cross the road, and you're in a different one, and that's Drainage District number 2, and Drainage District number 2 is just Marshall County. We don't share that with anybody else, and anyway, you know, you got water that you're gonna dump in a river somewhere, and then all of a sudden, somebody would like to has a use for it a little bit, and it just isn't what I think. And I tried to send all this stuff to you guys as we went along.
Yep, I've read it.
And the water access agreement that Mr. Blood had his attorney put together for us to use. The last one that he had was for 25 years. But he goes in there and has it pretty well black and white. The company, his dairy company, shall be responsible for the installation and operation of any pumps, pipes, valves, other equipment, or infrastructure necessary to access the water from the tile. The company hereby, his company, agrees hereby to identify district for any and all, to indemnify the district for any and all expenses or repairs as said tile as a result of company's use.
I thought that was excellent.
I thought it was well stated. He's been real good to work with, and but I'm afraid that if we push Mr. Slosik, if we push too hard, I think they're used to having their way, and that's what they want. So if we would do a 5-year agreement, renewable automatically for 4 terms, and then, as you say, David, down the road, maybe we can change it, amend it. So
Is that your recommendation also?
that would be my recommendation. Yeah.
Okay.
After I went through all my frustration, thank you for listening. But yeah.
We'll send you the bill.
Okay. Okay. Well, Steve, then how do we, we've got a place here. And on that the last agreement that I sent you guys, this 5-year agreement, would we want to put that then in this water access agreement and approve it?
That's probably the thing to do at this time. Why don't we
Okay.
go ahead and do that?
I would move to approve that as stated.
I would second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the water access agreement between Marshall County and Story County which basically is a 5-year agreement with automatic renewal. Am I correct on that, Bill?
Yes, for 4 terms.
4 terms. All right. Any other discussion on this? Roll call vote.
Solosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Yeah, I will get this back to Kevin, talk to him about it, make sure that he's okay with that. And his attorney is the one that wrote this up. I'm gonna see if he won't have his attorney amend it then, rather than us.
Very good.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Bill. You spent a lot of time on this, so I appreciate what you've done on
A
this.
lot of emails and a lot of telephone calls.
Yes, yep, there sure has. Number 17, 2020 census update with John Cook, Senior Partnership Specialist, Chicago Region, Iowa, U.S. Census Bureau. Will provide an update about how the Census Bureau is adapting to COVID-19 and answer any questions. John, you're on.
Well, thank you very much for having me. As you know, the 2020 census has been collecting response data now for a couple weeks. Actually, I could say probably 2 months now. And it's been growing really well. I have to say, I cannot say enough nice things about working with Lisa, and that's not just because she paid me. She is just wonderful. She's doing a great job of helping to get the word out to make sure that we get everybody in Marshall County counted. Obviously, you know, we're adjusting just like everybody else to the new environment, and our people have been off the road. We suspended field operations now going on about 2 months. We are getting ready to start rolling out field operations again in a staged way. So we're remaining dedicated to the mission of the 2020 census. We want to make sure that we get everyone counted, but at the same time, we really want to make sure that we keep our people safe and we keep the public safe as well. So we've adjusted our time frame. The biggest date that I've got to give you is that we will be accepting responses to the 2020 census all the way until October the 31st. And that's a big change because we were going to cut it off on July 31st, and then it got pushed back, and then it got pushed back again. So right now, you can respond to the 2020 census online, on the phone, or via mail if you've received a paper copy of the questionnaire until October 31st. Now, while I like giving that date out because we don't want people to procrastinate. So we really do want to keep pushing people to what we call self-respond. That's go on and give us your information or provide your information. And I'll show you kind of how that's going. And let me see if I can share. I'm going to share my desktop with you. And so this is just a picture. Can everybody see this, by the way? Just want to check real fast.
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is our website, 2020census.gov. It's what we call our SRR map, and it means the self-response rate map. And you can kind of see, and this updates daily, so you can see how the country, the state, the county, the cities, and even the census tracts are doing in self-response. It's all aggregated data. And just to kind of give you a way of this or how this works is it starts in this 0 to 15 category with this burnt orange and then gets lighter. And then at 51% changes to a light blue and then gets darker. So you really want to be dark blue. And as you can see, Iowa is doing really well. We are about 0.5% behind Wisconsin in third place, and about 3 or 4 points behind Minnesota for Minnesota's in first place. So if you would like to draw on some Big Ten rivalries here, we really would like to beat Minnesota and Wisconsin and get up to number 1. But overall, like I said, Iowa's doing a really good job. I saw that laugh. Okay, good. There we go.
How do you feel about that, Dave?
How, Dave, Wisconsin?
Probably not going to happen.
No. All right.
Is Dave a spy? Is that what I'm? Dave, are you a Wisconsin guy?
Yeah,
Wisconsin guy.
Okay. I'm sorry about that, but you know.
even the wind sucks in Minnesota.
I'm from Georgia, and I could tell you way too many Alabama jokes. I just put that out there. So I totally get it. As you can see, this is the county view. We've gotten all the counties to switch into blue. Dickinson, we're just, we're struggling a little bit just because of, it's mostly summer homes. And so there was an operation called Update Leave that was supposed to deal with them, and then that got postponed. They're getting ready to go in there, but we'll get them up here in a second. Marshall's doing really well. 63.4% of households have responded to the 2020 census. The final 2010 self-response rate was 72.5. So the county is within shouting distance of that. So that's really good news. I'm going to go in and pull up Marshall. And then I'm going to let that load, and I'm going to click on census tracks here so we can just kind of see. So as you can see, the census tracks, all the cities, have mostly turned into the blue. Southwestern Marshall town is doing really well. We got this one spot here kind of in the northeastern section of the city that we want to pay attention to, and just kind of keep getting them to self-respond. So that's really big. My message is doing great. Please keep it up. So the biggest thing as we kind of contemplate the future and, the economic recovery from COVID-19, census data is going to play a really big part in that. Where federal dollars go in the form of grants, in the form of aid, is going to be largely directed by your census data. So we really want to make sure that we get an accurate snapshot of the entire county, every single person, so that we make sure that we get you guys the aid, I should say not we, but the federal government gets you the aid that you need to make sure that we get the county back on its feet economically. So I will say too, one little plug, we are starting to push recruiting again and jobs. Because with the delay, we've had some people drop out of the pool. We've had, so we initially hired and then they've moved on, or there's been some challenges there. So we are asking people to talk about jobs, and that's 2020census.gov/jobs. And people can put in an application, and that puts them in the pool. And I am being told they will start calling people in the next couple of weeks. So with that, do you have any questions? Can I do anything to make your lives easier?
John, this is Bill Patton, and we got ours in the mail, a week ago, and it didn't take us but just a couple of minutes to fill them out and put them back in the mail. And
Great.
That part's real easy.
Great. I will tell you, one of the things that we've seen a lot of success with, and you may want to talk to Lisa about this, is a short 20-second testimonial video. Just saying that on social media goes a really, really long way. We got it exactly what you said. We got it in the mail, took us a few minutes to fill it out. And it's a great way to make sure that the county is represented in the government and funded for the next decade. And those little, Facebook posts, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you guys, however you use social media, those go a really, really long way in that getting the word out and helping people participate. So that's great. I'm really glad to hear that.
There's only 2 of us in this house, so that cuts out about 4 pages of the.
Yeah, we mail out all 8 pages, but only like 2 are apply to you, so that helps too. Any other questions?
Well, John, we'll do what we can to continue to promote this, along with Lisa. I'll bet she's got some ideas on what we can do to continue to get the word out. We'll do our best.
Yeah, just keep it up. Like I said, you're doing good work. We've got something cooking. Cross your fingers. I got a meeting today with the Lieutenant Governor's office, trying a statewide initiative to try to encourage people to participate. And I may be coming back around to talk about that if that gets off the ground. But we're working with them to help get the word of the census out too. So, but we appreciate the work that you guys have done. I really do mean it. I know I made a joke, but Lisa's been fantastic to work with, helped us with some media stuff, even gone above and beyond and helped me with some connections in Tama County. So I really owe her like one of my kids or something.
All right. Well, thank you, John. We appreciate your visiting with us here today.
Yeah, thank you. And you guys know how to contact me if you have any questions. And so, yeah, we'll talk to you later.
Take care.
You too. Be safe and be healthy, guys.
You too.
All right, we're on to item 18, discussion on reopening the county, discussion and possible action about steps in reopening county offices for business.
Hey, Steve,
you
I
must-
believe Kim's got a couple comments she'd like to get in before that. She's got a Board of Health meeting coming up.
Absolutely, Kim.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Just real quick, I'll have to get with Nan and listen to what number 18 has to do. I'm interested in that, but I do have to leave. There is a grant that I sent out, I believe, to all of the Board of Supervisors. It's a supplemental EMPG. We get an EMPG or Emergency Management Performance Grant annually, but this is a supplemental for COVID. With my office, I don't have a lot of extra because I'm salary. I don't have anybody else that I'm pulling in for extra hours. So I don't have anything really to claim for public assistance, but I'm applying for the supplemental to do some upgrades in the EOC that would help with like what we're doing now, because this was a virtual EOC, which we've never done in full before. We've done partially. And I know that James and I talked a while back about another grant that I applied for. They went a different direction with that and went to a regional type approach, but this one is per county. Right now, it looks like just under $8,000 available if all counties apply for it, which won't happen. It rarely happens that everybody applies for a grant, so could be more than that. So I'm going to try to work with James on some of the details that we got together for the last time to upgrade the EOC. This would mainly be for just the technology part. So just kind of wanted to give you an update on that. And I don't think there's a whole lot else going on, but just wanted to put that bug in your ear that I want to apply for it, and we'll get with James and see what we can do to be under the guidelines of what they have for that supplemental grant. So thank you guys all for working so hard on the COVID stuff and keeping everybody safe at the county level. I appreciate it.
Thank you for working with this grant situation.
Yeah, that sounds great.
That's great. That's good news. So.
Now, Kim, is there something on this one that we have to sign?
On this one, there will be, similar to what I sent you out for the regular EMPG yesterday. I don't have it yet. We should be getting it here just any day, so I'll get that to you. And it basically just goes through my commission, so it's not necessarily county, but just wanted to keep you in the loop since our IT at the county level would be involved quite extensively. So James and I had, though, already kind of put that information somewhat on paper because we had applied for another grant. So we kind of know which direction we're going. It's just basically updating things that have been put together over the years that don't really work well together in the current EOC/training room. And those items were very, very important to work through a virtual EOC like we did this time. So yeah, definitely going to work on that and see what we can get.
Thanks again, Kim. Kim, you're going to have to leave and go to the Board of Health meeting, you say. I had intended on participating in that too, but I think we've got a fair amount of discussion ahead of us here. So
Yeah.
My apologies to the Board of Health for not being able to.
That's okay. I'll let them know. I'm going to get off here and I will let them know. And yeah, update me please on what number 18, what goes on. I know that'll be some questions that people definitely will send my way. So thank you guys for all you're doing.
Thank you. All right, back
I'm
to
making
18.
a note to
Okay,
to
good.
send it to
Thank
Kim.
you.
Just wanted to kind of start the discussion for this. Personally, I don't feel like we're ready to open our county. A lot of the counties, there's kind of a split, the 77 counties and the 22 counties, and the 77 have the less cases. I haven't looked in a couple of days, but there was only a few of those that had even opened up yet. So I think when the governor gives us kind of the go-ahead, my opinion is I don't want to be the first one opening. We have another constraint surrounding us in that for the offices at Great Western Bank, we need to have the bank open as well. And so I've had, I'm usually in conversation with Alice a couple times a week, kind of where they are. They're under the same premise. She doesn't want to be the first bank in Marshalltown open, but doesn't want to be the last. So I think things are going to happen fairly quickly when it does. When we met on March 17th and closed the next day on the 18th. And the bank, when we had finished our meeting, they had had no conversations about closing. And by 3:30 that afternoon, they were closing the next day. So I keep getting the feeling that it's going to happen quickly on that side, so that we really kind of need to be ready when we think it's time to go. Lucas has been working with his staff getting sneeze guard construction for all of the public counters. So they'll have that for treasurer, auditor, recorder, assessor, CICS, and the engineer's office. I don't know if there's any other areas that need that. Maybe there's a space at the conservation center that might need it. So we're trying to get those supplies in place. We will have masks available for any employees that want to wear them. Some of the conversation has been, do we need someone at the door to kind of monitor? Do we want to monitor temperatures? I don't know if we want to go quite to that extent, but do we want to try to monitor crowds and keep less people in there? I think when we open the doors, I think we're going to be crazy busy. One of the things I've heard people mention is, well, let's, we can evaluate at the next meeting on the 20, I think we meet again on the 28th.
That's
No,
right.
26th, I'm sorry.
26.
26th. So we meet 2 weeks from today on the 26th. I think we're going to know a whole lot more by then. I'm going to be a little selfish, and if we think we want to open June 1st, I'm going to ask that we delay till June 3rd to get us through the election on the 2nd. Like I said earlier, we just keep dropping people, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to completely close my office to make elections happen. So that's just some of the information, but anything else anyone has heard about things we should be doing? We're going to have hand sanitizer for the public and for the employees. We're going to have cleaning supplies for the employees as well. I think we're going to be needing to do some additional wipe downs. The other thing that has been discussed at Great Western Bank is closing the restrooms to the public and making them employee only. And that would help us a lot with our touch spots as far as wiping things down. And I think that's probably a good idea at this point.
Did you mention the engineer's office too?
Yeah, we need a sneeze guard there. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Paul was at our last update meeting, but when I was over there on Friday talking about entering accounts payable, I looked up and went, there's another public counter, and made note of that. So
Is there anything else we should be
I don't,
discussing or talking about?
Are we
at this
going to
time?
have anything on the floor to keep people 6 feet apart, or a
I
line
was
or
thinking-
something?
I was thinking about some kind of taped boxes. They're doing that at the Marshalltown Post Office, and people seem to follow that pretty well there.
They're pretty
Just kind of-
good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fancy. We bought a bunch of the tape for elections as well. So I'll be smarter after June 2nd to see if it works for elections. But I think that's an option to try and, measure that out. We're going to get rid of a lot of the seating there so that we don't have those wipe down spots. I think there's some benches and things there, and we'll put just a couple of metal chairs that are easier to clean for anyone that needs to sit down while waiting.
Most people are following the instructions pretty good. I got in trouble because I went down the wrong way in the grocery aisle the other day, but I didn't get arrested. I got a stern warning.
Well, it's something to get used to, and you kind of don't pay it. It's hard to do that. It's just something we've all got to get used to. And you're right. I think people are getting used to it and handling it better. And I think if we've got the tape there, we'll have some, of course, signage up. The other discussion that we'll need to talk about with the folks just at Great Western Bank is whether we want to have both the west door and the north door open, or if we want to limit it to one door. So
Maybe that'll be their call.
I think it's going to be, well, I think it's going to be up to us which
Is it?
way we want to do it. And I can see advantages both ways. So I think we just need to kind of think on that more, and it'll probably be Jarrett and myself kind of making that decision, because we probably have the most public folks coming in. So.
Well,
it'd be-
Nan, you were talking about the sneeze guards. Have you visited with Lucas? How much time does he need to do that job?
Bill, I'm here. We have most of the work already done. Most of the materials already ordered. Bo
Okay.
and Cody have been working on that for probably a week or so now.
Mhm.
We got a little crash run getting ready for elections, so I think we're pretty well prepared for it. The
Okay.
cleaning supplies, on the other hand, will be maybe the more difficult aspect of it, getting enough of everything. I mean, we have enough to get us through for a while, but
Mhm.
depending on, how long this new normal lasts and supply chains, things are getting tight.
What is our responsibility with the judicial system? Are we taking care of things there as we speak, or?
Actually, Carol Haney just asked me to keep her in the loop, what we're doing. She said a lot of the 77 counties, again, the same way, judicial really isn't opening up a whole lot more than it was before at this, when I talked to her, that was about a week ago.
Okay.
So she said she just wants to kind of know and keep in the loop
You
of
bet.
what's going on. So I'll update her with this information.
Thank you.
And
I think we're lucky that they're in another building and they can kind of control when
Their
they
own
open and
environment.
when they close.
Mhm.
We're not constrained to them, and they're not constrained to us, which is, I think, in the long term, is going to be helpful.
Another positive for the tornado then, from the tornado?
it kind of is. It's a weird one, but it kind of is.
Oh, dear.
So I don't know if we need to table this or if we can just put it on the next agenda again and discuss it again then. I've heard that Governor Reynolds is going to make some big announcements today. So I think that may give us some direction on, where we're going, but I can't see that we'd want to be back open in less than 2 weeks with.
Well, Marshall County, it seems like, I don't know what happened yesterday. I won't know until I read the paper, I guess, but.
We had 13 additional cases yesterday.
Okay, so we've been getting between 13 and 19 per day. The barcode just keeps going up. And that's gonna be hard for us to try and manage something until that thing starts going the other direction.
We're the third most infected county per capita and the fifth by number in the state. So, I mean, we're towards the top of the list of that 22.
Yeah.
It's really not a list I wanted to win.
No.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Dave and Bill, do you have any other comments at this point? I guess we can always do special meetings, special board
Yeah,
meetings if we need to.
I just, let's put it on our next agenda to discuss again. I don't think we need to table it. And in the event of anything else happening, if we have to have a special meeting in the interim, we can certainly do that on 24 hours notice. Let's just play this thing by ear, because, it's a moving target.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an understatement, Dave.
It is. I wanted to get, if there's anything else we need to order or buy, we've got the plexiglass, getting the sneeze guards in for everybody. That'll be a big, that's a big help, but it's got some lead time. I did get 4 more thermometers ordered for 2 for conservation and 2 for secondary roads, so that they've got those.
Are you satisfied with the way those are working or not?
The one at the bank is a little closer than the one here. The one here we've got, it measures a couple degrees low, and once you know that, and it's pretty consistent at the couple degrees low.
It had me at 96 this morning.
Right, so 98, that puts you in your reasonable range. It just kind of is it's a little low. The one over at the bank that's in the book room, that one's pretty close. It's in the 98s always. I've got one at home. I'm doing my temperature twice a day as well. So it kind of gives me a little reference to see how close it seems to be. But that'll at least give that as a tool that they can have out at their locations as well. My first ones took a long time, and I'll confess during this meeting, I got a notice there's thermometers available and you've got to jump on them. And I was able to order 4. So, it's just one of those things. So I have gotten approval through Amazon to order all the PPE because of election and government. So that has helped us some. We've been able to get gloves and some of those types of things if it's something someone wants.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have the PPE that you want and need at this point? Where do you stand on?
Yeah, as a department, we're doing okay.
Doing fine?
I want to try and find some face shields. But past that, I think we're doing all right.
Okay.
I should have some coming in for elections, but they're kind of hokey. You've seen those.
Yeah.
But they were comfortable.
I may result in safety glasses.
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
But we might be able to talk to the nurses out of the sheriff's office too to get. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Dan, we have not had any COVID-19 people within our staff, have we?
We can't answer that.
I guess we can't, can we?
Nope, we cannot answer that.
My fault. Seems like it keeps going up.
Yeah,
There
it's.
was something on the news last night, though.
There was. We've had some folks that have been some exposures and those types of things, some people that have isolated because of their exposure. We've had, you have a lot of those types of things that are more gray areas, and it doesn't seem like the answers are super easy. If I was positive for COVID-19, okay, everybody that's been around me, it's easy. It's an easy, what do you do? But somebody that was just exposed to somebody, it's just a little bit grayer area, and what do we do? So we've worked through those cases individually, looking at those. We've worked with the department heads that have contacted Mary and I, and we've just worked through those cases individually.
All right. I think we'll leave it at this point then. You all right with this, Dave?
Yep.
Bill?
Steve, a moving target is just more of a challenge to hit.
Okay. You're always looking at the bright side, Dave. All right. There'll be no action taken on this discussion. Number 19, public forum. Is a time to set aside for the public to make comments on topics of county business other than those listed on this agenda. No action will be taken on any of these topics brought up in the public forum. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share? If not, I'm going for adjournment then. The next regular session is May 26, 2020 at 9:05 a.m. All business to be acted upon at that session should be submitted to the county auditor recorder's office or the Board of Supervisors office by Thursday, May 21, 2020 at 1:00 p.m. There being no further business to come before the board, the meeting is adjourned at 10:14 a.m. Thank you all.
You betcha.
Thank you.
Stay
Yep.
safe, stay
Thank you.
healthy.
You too.
You too.
Hey, Rosie.